The arrival. The obsidian black ship materialized in Earth's orbit with no warning, its sleek form seeming to absorb the very starlight around it. Global defense systems went haywire, radar screens flickered with interference, and panicked calls flooded emergency lines worldwide. As humanity collectively held its breath, a lone figure emerged from the craft, descending through the atmosphere in a cocoon of shimmering energy. Dr. Evelyn Chen stood on the roof of the Arecibo Observatory, her heart pounding as she watched the alien visitor touch down on the massive radio telescope's dish. The being before her was tall and lithe, its body covered in iridescent scales that shifted colors with each movement. 4 arms extended from its torso, ending in long, dexterous fingers. But it was the creature's eyes that captivated Evelyn, 3 orbs of swirling purple energy that seemed to peer into her very soul. "I am Xintax," the alien's voice reverberated in her mind, bypassing her ears entirely. "Emissary of the collective. I come seeking alliance." Evelyn swallowed hard, acutely aware that she was now humanity's de facto ambassador. As the lead SETI researcher at Arecibo, she had spent her career searching for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence. Now that intelligence had come to her. "I'm Dr. Evelyn Chen," she managed, her voice surprisingly steady. "On behalf of Earth, I welcome you. But I must ask, why have you chosen to reveal yourself now?" Xintax's scales rippled, a cascade of blues and greens washing over its form. "Necessity," it replied. "A threat approaches that will consume all in its path. My people, the Xal'nari, have fought it for millennia. Now, we turn to you." Before Evelyn could respond, the air crackled with energy. A dozen sleek fighter jets screamed overhead, weapons trained on the alien visitor. Xintax remained motionless, its gaze fixed on Evelyn. "Stand down," she shouted into her comm link, praying the military would listen. "It's not hostile." To her relief, the jets pulled back, maintaining a wary perimeter. Evelyn turned back to Xintax, her mind reeling. "You said a threat is coming. What kind of threat?" The alien's eyes pulsed with a deep, mournful purple. "We call them the Void Eaters. They are not alive as you would understand it, nor are they machines. They are entropy given form, devouring all matter and energy in their wake. Countless civilizations have fallen before them." Evelyn's scientific mind raced with questions, but she forced herself to focus on the immediate implications. "And you believe Earth can help fight them? How?" Xintax raised one of its hands, a holographic display springing to life above its palm. Complex equations and diagrams swirled in the air, far beyond anything Evelyn had ever encountered. "Your species possesses a unique cognitive architecture," Xintax explained. "A capacity for lateral thinking and intuitive leaps that even the most advanced Xal'nari AIs cannot replicate. We believe that, given access to our technology, humans may discover solutions that have eluded us." Evelyn stared at the alien, a chill running down her spine. "You're asking us to save the galaxy." "The universe," Xintax corrected. "The Void Eaters will not stop until all of existence is consumed. But to forge this alliance, I must betray the deepest taboos of my people. The Xal'nari collective forbids sharing advanced technology with developing species." "Then why risk it?" Evelyn asked, even as her mind grappled with the sheer scale of what Xintax was proposing. The alien's scales shimmered with a deep, resonant gold. "Because I have studied your people in secret for decades. I have seen your potential, your resilience, your capacity for both great destruction and even greater creation. I believe that together we stand a chance against the darkness that comes." Evelyn took a deep breath, feeling the weight of this moment pressing down upon her. She knew that her next words would shape the course of human history. "What you're proposing, it's beyond anything we've ever imagined," she said carefully. "I can't make this decision alone. I'll need to contact our world leaders, explain the situation." Xintax inclined its head in understanding. "Time is short, but I acknowledge your need for consensus. I will remain here, in orbit, for 3 of your Earth rotations. Use this time wisely, Dr. Chen. The fate of all existence may rest upon your species' decision. With that, the alien's form shimmered and vanished, leaving Evelyn alone on the telescope dish. She stood there for a long moment, her mind racing with the implications of what had just occurred. Then, with trembling hands, she reached for her phone to make the most important call of her life. As news of the alien visitation spread, the world erupted into a frenzy of excitement, fear, and speculation. Governments convened emergency sessions, religious leaders sought divine guidance, and social media exploded with theories both plausible and outlandish. Evelyn found herself at the center of a whirlwind, shuttled between high-level briefings and press conferences. She recounted her conversation with Xintax countless times, each retelling bringing fresh waves of awe and trepidation to her listeners. In Geneva, the United Nations Security Council debated long into the night. Some nations pushed for immediate acceptance of the alien offer, seeing it as humanity's chance to leap forward technologically. Others counseled caution, fearing a trap or unintended consequences of acquiring such advanced knowledge. As the deadline approached, a consensus began to emerge. Earth would cautiously accept Xintax's proposal, but with conditions. They would request a gradual sharing of technology, along with Xal'nari assistance in understanding and implementing it safely. Additionally, they would ask for more concrete evidence of the Void Eater threat. On the morning of the third day, Evelyn once again stood atop the Arecibo Observatory. This time, she was surrounded by a delegation of world leaders and scientific experts. As the sun crested the horizon, Xintax's ship descended from orbit, coming to rest once more upon the telescope dish. The alien emissary emerged, its scales glowing with an almost hopeful iridescence. Evelyn stepped forward, acutely aware of the billions watching this moment via satellite feeds and live streams. Xintax, she began, her voice carrying clearly in the still morning air. On behalf of the people of Earth, I bring you our answer. As Evelyn prepared to deliver humanity's response, the future of two species, and perhaps the entire universe, hung in the balance. The tension in the air was palpable as Dr. Evelyn Chen faced Xintax, the fate of two civilizations hanging on her next words. She took a deep breath, acutely aware of the weight of history upon her shoulders. Xintax, emissary of the Xal'nari, Evelyn began, her voice steady despite her racing heart. On behalf of Earth, we accept your offer of alliance. However, we have conditions. The alien's scales rippled with a mix of blue relief and cautious green. Speak your terms, Dr. Chen. The collective anticipated he would have reservations. Evelyn nodded, glancing briefly at the world leaders flanking her before continuing. First, we request a gradual sharing of technology with your guidance in understanding and implementing it safely. Second, we need more concrete evidence of the Void Eater threat. And finally, we ask for a cultural exchange program to foster better understanding between our species. Xintax was silent for a long moment, its three purple eyes swirling with rapid calculations. Finally, it spoke. Your terms are acceptable. The gradual approach is wise. Too much knowledge too quickly could be catastrophic. As for evidence of the Void Eaters, I can provide that immediately. The alien raised two of its four arms, manipulating an unseen interface. Suddenly, the sky above them shimmered and transformed. The assembled humans gasped as they found themselves seemingly transported to deep space. This is a direct feed from the front lines of our war, Xintax explained. What you see is happening in real time, light years from Earth. Before them, a cosmic battle unfolded. Sleek Xal'nari ships, not unlike Xintax's own vessel, engaged with something that defied description. It was as if a piece of the universe itself had been torn away, leaving a seething, hungry void. Where this nothingness touched Xal'nari ships or nearby celestial bodies, matter simply ceased to exist. By all the stars, whispered the President of the United States, her face pale. It's eating reality itself. Xintax nodded sullenly. Now you understand the true nature of our enemy. The Void Eaters consume not just matter and energy, but the very fabric of spacetime. Left unchecked, they will devour everything: planets, stars, galaxies, until the universe itself is nothing but an endless, empty void. As the horrifying display faded, Evelyn found her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. How do they? What's their origin? Their nature? We do not know, Xal'nari admitted. They first appeared on the fringes of our territory 1,000 Earth years ago. Our greatest minds have been unable to determine if they are a natural phenomenon gone awry, a weapon created by some long-dead civilization, or something else entirely. What we do know is that they are drawn to concentrations of energy and advanced technology. Your development of nuclear power and the beginnings of your spacefaring capabilities have likely attracted their attention. A murmur of alarm rippled through the assembled leaders. The German Chancellor stepped forward, his brow furrowed. Are you saying Earth is in immediate danger? Xal'nari's scales flickered with a reassuring gold. Not immediate, no. The Xal'nari fleet has established a defensive perimeter around your solar system. But time is not on our side. The Void Eaters are adapting, evolving. Each encounter makes them stronger, more efficient in their consumption. Evelyn's mind raced with the implications. So even if we hide, even if we shut down all our advanced technology, they would find you eventually, Xal'nari finished. The only path forward is to stand and fight together. The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. As world leaders huddled with their advisors, hashing out the finer points of the alliance, Evelyn found herself in deep discussion with Xal'nari. The alien's vast knowledge was intoxicating, opening up new realms of scientific possibility with every sentence. Your understanding of quantum mechanics is quaint, Xal'nari observed, not unkindly, but it provides a solid foundation. With our guidance, I believe a species could make remarkable leaps in a very short time. Evelyn's eyes gleamed with excitement. And you really think human intuition could be the key to defeating the Void Eaters? Xal'nari's scales shimmered with a thoughtful purple. Your species has a unique gift for seeing patterns where others see only chaos. You make intuitive leaps that our most advanced AAs struggle to replicate. Combined with Xal'nari technology, yes, I believe you may be our best hope. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the Arecibo dish, a historic document was prepared. The Xal'nari Concordat laid out the framework for cooperation between the two species. Earth would receive carefully meted doses of advanced technology, while providing the Xal'nari with human insights and assistance in the war effort. Evelyn watched as world leaders stepped forward one by one to sign the document. As a designated scientific liaison, she would be at the forefront of this new alliance. The enormity of the task ahead was daunting, but she felt a surge of determination. This was what she had dreamed of her entire career, the chance to push the boundaries of human knowledge and make a real difference in the universe. As the ceremony concluded, Xal'nari approached Evelyn once more. There is one more thing, Dr. Chen, the alien said, its voice carrying a note of hesitation. The collective has authorized me to offer you something unprecedented. Would you be willing to undergo a process we call neural synchronization? Evelyn's eyebrows rose. What exactly does that entail? It is a temporary melding of minds, Xal'nari explained. It would allow you to directly access a portion of Xal'nari knowledge, bypassing years of study. However, the process is not without risk. The influx of information can be overwhelming. Evelyn felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The scientist in her yearned for that knowledge, but caution held her back. I'll need some time to consider that offer, she said carefully. Xal'nari inclined its head in understanding. Of course, it is not a decision to be made lightly, but know that it could significantly accelerate our efforts against the Void Eaters. As twilight deepened into night, Evelyn found herself standing alone at the edge of the telescope dish. She gazed up at the stars, their steady light now holding new meaning. Somewhere out there, a war raged for the very survival of the universe, and humanity had just been thrust onto the front lines. Her comm unit chirped, startling her from her reverie. It was a message from NASA. They were requesting her presence immediately. Apparently, Xal'nari had shared some preliminary data on Xal'nari propulsion systems, and the engineers were in a frenzy of excitement. With a deep breath, Evelyn squared her shoulders and headed towards the waiting transport. The greatest adventure in human history was just beginning, and she was determined to see it through. As she boarded the sleek aircraft, she cast one last glance at the stars above. "Ready or not," she murmured, "here we come." 6 months had passed since Earth's fateful alliance with the Xal'nari, and Dr. Evelyn Chen barely recognized the world around her. Humanity had made technological leaps that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. Xal'nari knowledge had revolutionized fields from energy production to medicine, and the first joint human-Xal'nari research facilities were already yielding promising results. But progress came at a cost. The revelation of the Void Eater threat had sent shockwaves through human society. While many embraced the challenge with determination, others retreated into fear and paranoia. Fringe groups arose, some claiming the aliens were saviors, others decrying them as harbingers of doom. A murmur of alarm rippled through the assembled leaders. The German chancellor stepped forward, his brow furrowed. "Are you saying Earth is in immediate danger?" Xal'nari's scales flickered with a reassuring gold. "Not immediate, no. The Xal'nari fleet has established a defensive perimeter around your solar system. But time is not on our side. The Void Eaters are adapting, evolving. Each encounter makes them stronger, more efficient in their consumption." Evelyn's mind raced with the implications. "So even if we hide, even if we shut down all our advanced technology, they would find you eventually," Xal'nari finished. "The only path forward is to stand and fight, together." The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. As world leaders huddled with their advisors, hashing out the finer points of the alliance, Evelyn found herself in deep discussion with Xal'nari. The aliens' vast knowledge was intoxicating, opening up new realms of scientific possibility with every sentence. "Your understanding of quantum mechanics is quaint," Xal'nari observed, not unkindly. "But it provides a solid foundation. With our guidance, I believe your species could make remarkable leaps in a very short time." Evelyn's eyes gleamed with excitement. "And you really think human intuition could be the key to defeating the Void Eaters?" Xal'nari's scales shimmered with a thoughtful purple. "Your species has a unique gift for seeing patterns where others see only chaos. You make intuitive leaps that our most advanced AIs struggle to replicate. Combined with Xal'nari technology, yes, I believe you may be our best hope." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the Arecibo dish, a historic document was prepared. The Terran-Xal'nari Concordat laid out the framework for cooperation between the two species. Earth would receive carefully meted doses of advanced technology, while providing the Xal'nari with human insights and assistance in the war effort. Evelyn watched as world leaders stepped forward one by one to sign the document. As the designated scientific liaison, she would be at the forefront of this new alliance. The enormity of the task ahead was daunting, but she felt a surge of determination. This was what she had dreamed of her entire career, the chance to push the boundaries of human knowledge and make a real difference in the universe. As the ceremony concluded, Xal'nari approached Evelyn once more. "There is one more thing, Dr. Chen," the alien said, its voice carrying a note of hesitation. "The collective has authorized me to offer you something unprecedented. Would you be willing to undergo a process we call neural synchronization?" Evelyn's eyebrows rose. "What exactly does that entail?" "It is a temporary melding of minds," Xal'nari explained. "It would allow you to directly access a portion of Xal'nari knowledge, bypassing years of study. However, the process is not without risk. The influx of information can be overwhelming." Evelyn felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The scientist in her yearned for that knowledge, but caution held her back. "I'll need some time to consider that offer," she said carefully. Syntax inclined its head in understanding. "Of course, it is not a decision to be made lightly, but know that it could significantly accelerate our efforts against the Void Eaters." As twilight deepened into night, Evelyn found herself standing alone at the edge of the telescope dish. She gazed up at the stars, their steady light now holding new meaning. Somewhere out there, a war raged for the very survival of the universe, and humanity had just been thrust onto the front lines. Her comm unit chirped, startling her from her reverie. It was a message from NASA. They were requesting her presence immediately. Apparently, Syntax had shared some preliminary data on Xal'nari propulsion systems, and the engineers were in a frenzy of excitement. With a deep breath, Evelyn squared her shoulders and headed towards the waiting transport. The greatest adventure in human history was just beginning, and she was determined to see it through. As she boarded the sleek aircraft, she cast one last glance at the stars above. "Ready or not," she murmured, "here we come." 6 months had passed since Earth's fateful alliance with the Xal'nari, and Dr. Evelyn Chen barely recognized the world around her. Humanity had made technological leaps that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. Xal'nari knowledge had revolutionized fields from energy production to medicine, and the first joint human-Xal'nari research facilities were already yielding promising results. But progress came at a cost. The revelation of the Void Eater threat had sent shockwaves through human society. While many embraced the challenge with determination, others retreated into fear and paranoia. Fringe groups arose, some claiming the aliens were saviors, others decrying them as harbingers of doom. Evelyn stood in the control room of the newly constructed Tranquility Base on the far side of the moon, watching as both human and Xal'nari ships docked at the sprawling facility. The base served as a neutral ground for the two species, a place where knowledge and culture could be freely exchanged. "Quite a view, isn't it?" A familiar voice resonated in her mind. Evelyn turned to see Syntax approach, its scales shimmering with a mix of blue satisfaction and cautious green. "It's incredible," Evelyn agreed. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come in such a short time." Syntax's 3 eyes pulsed with what Evelyn had come to recognize as amusement. "Your species' adaptability continues to impress the collective. But I sense unease in you, Dr. Chen. What troubles you?" Evelyn sighed, turning back to the viewport. "It's just, everything's moving so fast. I worry we're not giving ourselves enough time to fully understand the technologies we're implementing, and the social upheaval on Earth." She trailed off, thinking of the protests and conflicts that had erupted worldwide. "Change is never easy," Syntax acknowledged. "But time is a luxury we cannot afford. The latest reports from the front lines are concerning." Before Evelyn could inquire further, alarms blared throughout the base. Red warning lights bathed the control room in an eerie glow. "What's happening?" Evelyn demanded, rushing to a nearby console. A harried-looking technician looked up, his face pale. "We're detecting a massive energy surge at the edge of the solar system. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Syntax moved with surprising speed, its 4 arms flying over holographic interfaces. "Impossible," the alien muttered, a wave of anxious yellow rippling across its scales. They couldn't have adapted so quickly. The main view screen flickered to life, showing a real-time feed from long-range sensors. Evelyn's breath caught in her throat. A massive tear in the fabric of space yawned open, and from it poured a seething mass of utter darkness. The Void Eaters had arrived. "This is not a random incursion," Syntax said, its mental voice tight with strain. "They're targeting Earth specifically. Our worst fears have been realized. They've become aware of our alliance." Evelyn's mind raced. "But you said we had more time." "The defensive perimeter is being overwhelmed as we speak," Syntax finished grimly. "We underestimated their rate of adaptation. Dr. Chen, we must evacuate the Earth immediately. There's no time to." "No." Evelyn's voice was firm, surprising even herself. We're not abandoning Earth. There has to be another way. For a moment, Syntax's scales flickered with a complex pattern Evelyn couldn't decipher. Then, decision made, the alien nodded. Very well, but our options are limited. The only weapon that might stand a chance is still in the theoretical stage. We would need to complete it, Evelyn finished, a spark of determination igniting within her. Whatever it takes. The next few hours were a blur of frantic activity. As the Void Eaters inexorably advanced through the solar system, consuming entire planets in their wake, Evelyn found herself at the heart of a desperate plan. The weapon, codenamed Nexus, was based on a radical new understanding of quantum entanglement. In theory, it could create a cascading reaction that would unravel the very structure of the Void Eaters. But the power requirements were staggering, and the calculations needed to target it precisely were beyond even the most advanced Xal'nari computers. There's only one way, Syntax said gravely as they stood before a pulsing arch of alien technology. The neural synchronization I'd offered before, it's the only way to process the data fast enough. Evelyn swallowed hard, remembering the aliens' earlier warnings about the risks. But as she looked at the view screen, watching the inexorable advance of the cosmic horror that threatened everything she loved, she knew there was no real choice. "I'll do it," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. The process was like nothing Evelyn could have imagined. As her mind merged with the vast repository of Xal'nari knowledge, she felt as if she was simultaneously expanding to encompass the universe and being crushed to a singularity. Aeons of history, scientific discoveries beyond human comprehension, and the collective experiences of an entire alien civilization poured into her consciousness. Through the maelstrom of information, Evelyn clung to her sense of self, to her memories of Earth and all that she fought to protect. Gradually, patterns began to emerge. She saw the quantum structure of the Void Eaters with a clarity that defied normal perception. And with that understanding came the solution they so desperately needed. "There," she gasped, her body trembling with the strain. "I see it, the resonance frequency. If we modulate the Nexus beam to match." Her words dissolved into a cry of pain as the neural link threatened to overwhelm her. But she pushed through, forcing her mind to translate the alien concepts into something the human and Xal'nari scientists could understand. As Evelyn's consciousness began to fade, she had a final, startling realization. The Void Eaters weren't simply a force of destruction. They were a twisted reflection of life itself, born from the same cosmic principles that had given rise to humanity and the Xal'nari. And in that understanding lay the key to their defeat. With the last of her strength, Evelyn pulled this insight into the Nexus weapons targeting systems. As darkness claimed her, she heard Syntax's voice, filled with awe and hope. Activation in 3, 2, 1. A blinding flash of light engulfed the control room, and then silence. When Evelyn awoke, she found herself in a medical bay, surrounded by a mix of human and Xal'nari medical staff. Her head throbbed with residual knowledge, fragments of alien memories that would likely take years to fully process. Did it work? She managed to croak. A familiar shimmering form approached her bedside. Syntax's scales radiated a joy so intense it was almost blinding. "Beyond our wildest hopes, Dr. Chen, the Void Eaters, they're gone. Not just repelled, but fundamentally transformed. Your insights allowed us to rewrite their very nature." Evelyn closed her eyes, relief washing over her. But as the immediate danger receded, new questions bubbled to the surface. What would this victory mean for Earth's place in the galaxy? How would humanity handle the influx of knowledge she had glimpsed? And what other cosmic wonders, or terrors, awaited them among the stars? As if sensing her thoughts, Syntax placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Rest now, Dr. Chen. You've earned it. Tomorrow, we begin to shape the future together." Evelyn nodded, allowing herself to drift off. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that humanity would face them with new allies, new knowledge, and a newfound understanding of their place in the universe. The greatest adventure in human history was just beginning: the awakening. A year had passed since the fateful confrontation with the Void Eaters, and Earth was a world transformed. The skyline of every major city now featured gleaming Xal'nari architecture alongside human structures, a visual testament to the deepening alliance between the two species. But for Dr. Evelyn Chen, the most profound changes were invisible to the naked eye. Evelyn stood before a floor-to-ceiling window in her New Geneva office, absently rubbing her temples. The neural synchronization had left her forever altered, her mind now a fusion of human intuition and vast troves of Xal'nari knowledge. While the immediate flood of information had subsided, she still experienced periodic downloads of alien memories and insights, often at the most inconvenient times. Dr. Chen. A hesitant voice broke through her reverie. The Security Council is ready for you. Evelyn turned to face her assistant, a young woman named Aisha. Thank you. I'll be right there. As she made her way to the council chambers, Evelyn reflected on the tumultuous year that had passed. The defeat of the Void Eaters had been hailed as humanity's crowning achievement, a triumph of interspecies cooperation. But victory had brought its own set of challenges. The transformed Void Eaters, now dubbed cosmic cultivators, had become a source of both wonder and concern. No longer destroyers, they now roamed the galaxy, seeding barren planets with the building blocks of life. Their new nature was a testament to the power of the Nexus weapon and Evelyn's insights, but it also raised uncomfortable questions about humanity's right to so fundamentally alter another form of existence. Moreover, the influx of advanced technology had sent shockwaves through human society. While many embraced the changes, others feared the loss of human culture and identity. Fringe groups had sprung up, some advocating for a complete merger with Xal'nari civilization, others calling for a retreat from galactic affairs. Evelyn entered the council chambers, where representatives from Earth's nations sat alongside a delegation of Xal'nari diplomats. At the center of the room stood a holographic projection of the Milky Way, with glowing points indicating the spread of the cosmic cultivators. Dr. Chen, the UN Secretary-General, greeted her. We were just discussing the latest reports from the Oort Cloud outposts. It seems the cultivators are showing increased activity in our sector. Evelyn nodded, her mind automatically overlaying the star map with Xal'nari astronomical data. They're drawn to systems with a high potential for life, she explained. Our solar system must be particularly attractive to them. A murmur ran through the human delegates, but the Xal'nari remained impassive. Xintax, now serving as the official ambassador to Earth, spoke up. This is not necessarily cause for alarm. The cultivators have shown no hostile intent since their transformation. But they're changing entire worlds, argued the Russian representative. Who are we to allow such wholesale reformation of the galaxy? Evelyn felt a familiar pressure building behind her eyes. Another download was imminent. She gripped the edge of the table, trying to focus on the debate at hand. The universe is vast and largely lifeless, she said, her voice strained. The cultivators are bringing new possibilities, new potential for. Her words cut off as a wave of alien memories crashed over her. But this time, something was different. Instead of disjointed fragments, she saw a clear, coherent vision, and it chilled her to her core. When Evelyn came back to herself, she found the room silent, all eyes fixed on her. She realized she must have spoken aloud during her episode, sharing the vision with the stunned delegates. Dr. Chen, Xintax said carefully, its scales a swirl of concerned purple. Are you certain of what you saw? Evelyn nodded, her mouth dry. The cosmic cultivators, they're not just seeding life. They're following a pattern, a grand design that was encoded into them when we transformed them. They're preparing the galaxy for something to come. The chamber erupted into chaos as delegates argued and demanded explanations. Evelyn stood silent, her mind reeling from the implications of her vision. The cultivators were creating a network of life-bearing worlds, each a piece in a vast, cosmic puzzle. But to what end? As the debate raged around her, Evelyn felt a gentle mental nudge from Syntax. "There's more, isn't there?" the alien's voice whispered in her mind. Evelyn met Syntax's tripart gaze and gave an almost imperceptible nod. There was more, much more. The vision had shown her glimpses of civilizations far more advanced than even the Xal'nari, of cosmic forces that dwarfed the Void Eaters, and at the center of it all, a sense of purpose, of an intelligence so vast it encompassed the entire universe. "Order! Order!" The Secretary General's voice cut through the din. "Dr. Chen, what do you recommend we do with this information?" Evelyn took a deep breath, weighing her words carefully. "We need to understand the pattern the cultivators are creating," she said. "And to do that, we need to expand our presence in the galaxy. It's time for humanity to truly take its place among the stars." Her words hung in the air, heavy with implication. The room was silent as the delegates contemplated the enormity of what she was proposing. Finally, the Chinese representative spoke up. "You're suggesting a mass colonization effort, but we've barely begun to explore our own solar system." "We don't have the luxury of time," Evelyn countered. "Whatever the cultivators are preparing for, it's clear that it will affect us all. We need to be ready." The debate that followed lasted for hours, but in the end, a consensus was reached. Earth would embark on an unprecedented era of expansion and exploration, working in concert with Xal'nari to unlock the secrets of the cosmic cultivators. As the meeting adjourned, Evelyn found herself once again by the window, gazing up at the stars. The enormity of the task ahead was daunting, but she felt a fierce determination burning within her. A shimmer of iridescent scales reflected in the glass as Syntax joined her. "You didn't tell them everything," the alien observed. Evelyn shook her head. "They're not ready, not yet, but they will be." Syntax was silent for a moment, its scales rippling with a complex mix of emotions. "The path ahead is uncertain," it said at last. "The knowledge you carry, it could reshape the very foundations of our understanding of the universe." "I know," Evelyn replied softly, "but we can't turn back now. Whatever's coming, whatever the cultivators are preparing for, we'll face it together." As the first stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, Evelyn felt the weight of destiny upon her shoulders. The alliance between Earth and the Xal'nari had saved them from the Void Eaters, but it was clear now that it was just the beginning. A greater journey lay ahead, one that would take humanity to the very edges of the cosmos and beyond. Evelyn's heart raced. This was it, the moment they had been waiting for. "Set a course, Captain," she said, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. "Maximum speed." As the astrolabe leaped into faster-than-light travel, Evelyn retreated to her quarters. She needed to prepare herself for what was to come. The fragments of Xal'nari knowledge in her mind had been growing more insistent lately, hinting at revelations just beyond her grasp. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, Evelyn closed her eyes and allowed her consciousness to expand. The boundaries between her human self and the vast repository of alien wisdom blurred, and suddenly, she saw it all. The Void Eaters, the Xal'nari humanity, all were part of a cosmic cycle far grander than any of them had imagined. The universe itself was alive, a vast, conscious entity perpetually growing, dying, and being reborn. The Void Eaters had been its immune system, culling civilizations that grew too quickly, threatened the delicate balance. But now, transformed into the cultivators, they served a new purpose. They were preparing for the universe's rebirth. Evelyn's eyes snapped open, her body trembling with the enormity of the revelation. She stumbled to her feet, rushing back to the bridge just as the astrolabe dropped out of FTL. The sight that greeted them defied description. Thousands, no, millions of cosmic cultivators swarmed around a central point of blinding light. As Evelyn watched, the light pulsed, sending out waves of energy that rippled through space-time itself. "My God," Captain Rodriguez whispered. "What is it?" "The beginning," Evelyn said, her voice filled with awe. "And the end. Captain, Send out a signal to every human colony, every Xal'nari outpost. Tell them it's time. As the message went out, the astrolabe's sensors went wild. Ships began appearing all around them, human vessels, Xal'nari cruisers, and crafts of designs Evelyn had never seen before. It seemed they weren't the only ones drawn to this cosmic event. A familiar shimmering announced Zintak's arrival on the bridge. The alien's scales were a kaleidoscope of emotions as it took in the scene before them. "You knew," Zintak said, its mental voice tinged with a mix of accusation and respect. "All this time, you knew what was coming." Evelyn nodded, her eyes never leaving the swirling maelstrom of cultivators. "Not entirely, but I knew it was something beyond our current understanding. This is why the alliance between our peoples was so important. We needed to be ready for this moment." As if in response to her words, the central point of light began to expand. The cultivators moved in perfect synchronization, their bodies forming intricate, multidimensional patterns around the growing sphere. "What do we do now?" Captain Rodriguez asked, her voice steady despite the unprecedented situation. Evelyn took a deep breath, feeling the weight of all her accumulated knowledge, both human and Xal'nari, settle upon her. "We bear witness," she said, "and we prepare to take our place in the new universe that's about to be born." As if on cue, a voice echoed through the minds of everyone present, human, Xal'nari, and the crews of the other assembled ships. It was a voice both ancient and new, filled with the wisdom of countless eons and the promise of infinite possibilities. "Children of the cosmos," it said, "you have proven yourselves worthy. The cycle of destruction has been broken, and a new age dawns. Come forth and take your place among the shapers of reality." The sphere of light expanded, enveloping the astrolabe and the other ships. Evelyn felt a moment of fear, quickly replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace and purpose. As the light consumed her, she saw flashes of the future, humanity and the Xal'nari spreading throughout the cosmos, uplifting other species, nurturing young civilizations, all working together to guide the evolution of the newborn universe. In that moment of transcendence, Evelyn understood that the alliance she had helped forge between Earth and the Xal'nari was just the beginning. The true adventure, the shaping of cosmic destiny, was about to begin. As the last vestiges of the old universe faded away, Evelyn Chen, once a simple SETI researcher from Earth, now a bridge between species and a midwife to a new reality, embraced her role in the grand cosmic dance. The universe held its breath, and then a new dawn broke across infinity, filled with the promise of wonders yet to come.